Hey everyone, and welcome to my first championship race. This is actually round 2 of the Manufacturers Championship. I've signed a contract with Jaguar, of course, it's an all-time favourite of mine, and I'm going to be racing the F-Type Group 4 car at Interlagos. This is the second round, as I said, and my current ranking is driver rating C and sportsmanship rating A, so everyone else in this lobby has the exact same ratings as those. I haven't been able to play much online at the moment, so that's why I haven't gone up above C so far. Anyway, so here's how championship works. So you can't pre-qualify, so you can do as much practice as you want once the round opens, and then you have to choose one of about 5 or 6 different time slots. Once you've raced a race, that's it. When you get in there and it matches you, it's then a live qualifying, and this is intense. Like, this is actually really difficult. So it's not like back in the old lobby days where you had qualifying out with other people on invisible. This is actually real live qualifying, so there's other cars out on track getting their qualification lap, and this kind of caught me out. So I'm going to show you guys here my first out lap and first race lap, so to speak, first qualifying lap from a flying start. And there's a couple of things which is worth noting here if you guys haven't taken part in any of these championship races. This is actually starting the first flying lap. You can see it says out lap there, now changing to a flying lap. And that's the thing you need to take note of, is that because there's other cars on track, you could have your qualifying lap ruined potentially by other drivers. And they're not necessarily, I mean hopefully at least, they're not going to be out to get you. People aren't going to try and deliberately crash, because if you deliberately crash someone else, all that means is you're going to get a really bad qualifying time as well. You're not going to give yourself a good opportunity. So everyone seemed to be actually genuinely trying to get a good lap. But what I kind of didn't do, which I really should have done, is found myself a space on the track. And you'll actually see the guy in front of me, Xenomorph, do exactly that in a minute. So you can see he's behind this guy called Max, and he's almost battling him in the qualification, and I guess he sees me coming in behind as well, and I think he just decides this is ridiculous. So you'll see in the next lap here he actually drops back and gets a bit of space for himself, which is really what I should have done. In fact, there he goes. So he drops back there, lets me goes through, and then basically just eases off so that his next lap can be completely without other cars around him. And I really should have done the same, but I didn't really think about that, and I was kind of watching this guy in front race, and he wasn't racing that smoothly, and I kind of felt like I might actually be able to just make a clean pass on him and have a good lap afterwards. Not to mention, I thought if I used the draft here I could actually get quite a quick qualifying lap. My first lap here did put me into first spot. We'll wait for that one to come in, but yeah, I would strongly recommend to find yourself a space on the track rather than trying to race other people, because it is only going to slow you down. So there you go, I get a 1:43.543, I think that is. And then on my second lap again, I was still following him, and I did really lose some time being behind him. He was going a little bit slower than I was, so I didn't really able to get a really quick lap. But that one was marginally quicker with a 1:43.161, and I overshot that, and that was pretty bad for me, because I could have potentially got in his way there and broke a little bit late, but never mind. So I qualified in 3rd position here, and it's really cool. So once everyone's qualified, it goes through the entire grid here. So unlike in the daily races where it kind of just shows an overview of the different positions at the front, it actually goes through each individual person. So in first place, racing for Volkswagen, is I can't remember his name there, and then Still Knox in second place. I'm in third place rather, in the Jaguar, both the front two in the VWs. Then we got a Citroen GT for Xenomorph in 4th place, and in 5th place is Huda Daddy in the Alfa Romeo. And then it goes on to show everyone, but we won't go through that, otherwise you guys will be sitting here for ages. So once it's gone through everyone in the grid there, you get going, and this was a rolling start. So at this point I'm kind of obviously trying to come up with a strategy, and at the start here you really want to focus on what everyone else is doing and getting an idea of how everyone else races and how aggressive they are, and if you're going to have any opportunities to make a pass. And the thing to remember here is you got 10 laps. It's quite a long race, so it is worthwhile being patient and not being too aggressive. So anyway, so I was kind of in here, third place, and I'm going to just kind of commentate this one as we go here. This is very unscripted, and we're just going to watch the race and see how it goes. I'm going to give you guys a heads up, it is a really, really good ending, so definitely stick around to the end, because it's a fantastic race and a fantastic battle all the way through here. So anyway, coming in this second corner here after the S's, and I actually get nudged wide by Xenomorph in the GT and the Citroen GT, but actually absolutely fair play to him. So he nudged me wide there, and you actually see he lets off and comes in behind me. So really, really sporting there. Obviously he already got, I imagine, a penalty on his SR for the nudge out, but then to actually give that position back again, that's really nice to have observed that and to have done that, because obviously the game doesn't enforce any of that kind of that level of fair play, but that's actually really, really nice to see. So thank you, good sir. I do really appreciate that, and I noticed it at the time, so I was kind of nodding my head in thanks to that. Unfortunately it didn't, the nudge wide didn't lose me too much time. However, it did put me about a second, just 1.7 seconds behind the guys at the front. But I've been watching them, and I could kind of see that they were battling pretty hard. Already Portu, the Spaniard, had been overtaken. He started in first place, and Skillnox, I think it is, in the Frenchman, both in the Scirocco, had taken the lead. So those guys had switched places, but I could see that they were battling quite hard, so I kind of had the impression that I'd be able to make up some time here. Generally speaking, unless you're both really, really quick, the more you battle, the more time you're going to lose. Skipping ahead a little here, so this is the first kind of clue that there's going to be some opportunities to make a pass here. So these guys nudging each other a little wide on that sweeping left-hander on the second straight. So I'm kind of getting an idea now that these guys, maybe a little bit sloppy, a little bit aggressive, really going for it. And you can see I've already cut down my trail from 1.7 to 0.7, and then as I come in round these tight S's here, I'm actually right down to a 0.5, 0.6. So actually really gaining my time back already, only on lap 2. And again, just watching and being patient. As I said, you really don't want to be aggressive, because if you make a mistake in an aggressive move, you're going to go a long way back, and it's going to be hard to regain all of that time. So at the end of lap 2, still in position 3, and I'm in the draft, and what I'm noticing here is that these Scirocco's considerably faster than the F-Type on the straight. So this is something you've really got to think about. Okay, these guys are going to be fast on the straight. That means making a pass on the straight going to be very difficult, especially because once I'm past them, they'll have the slipstream, and it'll be really easy for those guys to repass me on the straight. I do get an orange SR down there, slight nudge on Stillnox. I was a little, I actually broke quite early, but seemingly he broke even earlier. And absolutely slamming the brakes, and I just gave him a little nudge in the back, and that obviously penalised me, but it didn't affect his race too much, and it was only a minor nudge. And then at this point here on lap 3, coming through these S-bends again, Stillnox actually takes back the lead from Portu, who had regained it earlier on. So Stillnox back in the lead, but I'm right on their tail, and again just waiting for that opportunity really to make a pass, waiting for one of them to make a mistake, or if I can get a good run through one of the corners. And again, at this point I'm really thinking I've got to try and go for that pass if possible. On the corners rather than the straight. So this is my first opportunity to pass. Had a really good run out of that first S's. However, because of Stillnox's position on the track, I couldn't go around the outside, and going around the inside was obviously blocked. So I had to let off the accelerator slightly, and obviously then I lost my slight advantage. And I can see again it coming round here. They're going a little bit wide, not the greatest runs. I could have possibly gone down the inside there, but I felt like I might not have been able to hold a slightly tighter line and keep the throttle down, so I thought better to just ease off a little bit and bide my time, and I was fairly confident that there was going to be an opportunity at some point coming up here. Portu's retaken the lead, and interestingly, if you look in my rear view mirror, you can see Xenomorph also in the GT, the Citroen GT, right behind me. So here's a big crash here. So Stillnox giving a big old shunt to Portu out to the side, and I thought they might ricochet off each other. Portu going off into the sand to the left, and Stillnox going off to the right, and I might be able to do a double overtake. But they actually both managed to recover it surprisingly well. Again, imagine they'll at least have been penalised for SR for that, but they managed to recover it, and again, it's like more hints here that I'm going to get some kind of opportunity, so I felt like I'm fairly happy to just to ease off. Once again, getting onto this home straight with a faster car, could have potentially made a pass there, but you can see these guys, especially in the drag, is just absolutely bombing it down. Okay, so I've added the wheel cam in now, you'll have seen that, so I'm going to play it all from the end, all the way through here, and I finally make my way into second place as Porto makes a pretty bad exit coming onto this back straight here. So I get into second place, into the slipstream with Still Knox, and you'll be able to now watch my wheel camera if you guys are interested to see that, because I'm going to just play this all the way through here, so no more jump cuts, so I'm going to go pure racing, because this is a really good battle for these last 4 laps now that I'm in second place, and the 4 of us all pretty tight together. So Still Knox up in front, I'm in second, Porto in third place, and Xenomorph in fourth place, just marginally behind Porto. I've been watching Still Knox's live here, and he seems to go wide a lot there, so that's kind of one area that I'm thinking I might be able to catch him in. And then he goes quite slowly through that right-hander, and again very slowly on this left-hander, which catches me off guard, and I do just slightly nudge him. Doesn't seem to throw him off, if anything gives him a little bit of a boost out, and I in turn get just slightly nudged in the back from Porto. But again, all just little racing taps, very difficult to avoid sometimes if people are being just that little bit unpredictable. And when you're trying to race close, you do get these little taps, and I don't think anyone really suffered from any of those little bumps there, which was good to see. And all really close. One thing that I do really regret is I completely forgot to save the replay. So what I want to do in future is, especially for really good close races like this, is throw in some alternative angles, you know, get the helicopter view and get the chase cameras and stuff like that, so you guys can get a bit of a different perspective. But I did forget to do it for this one, so in the next kind of big online race that I do, I'm going to try and include that. You see Porto here, he tries to go down the inside, he brakes really late. I don't know if he was trying to dive through, but it didn't work, and he went way through there. I do lose a little bit of time because I see him coming back onto the track and re-entering on the right hand side. I always keep this radar on since someone suggested it, and I've given it a go, and it's actually really handy, so I would recommend that. And you can just keep an eye on where people are around you. So I had my eye on that, and I could see that he was coming back onto the track from the right hand side, so I lost a little bit of time just avoiding him, but it was a little bit of a reckless move. I don't know whether that was deliberate or not, but he certainly didn't help himself flying down the inside, and he's being quite aggressive here on my tail, coming in very close on that right hander. I think giving me just fraction of a nudge, which again was no big deal for me. Managed to keep things fairly tidy, but he's really close behind me. And actually, when they get super close, you get these little black kind of bars on the side of the screen, so you kind of get an idea that someone's really close up behind you, especially if you don't have that mirror, because I know some of the viewpoints don't have the mirror on. I like this bonnet cam has the mirror, so you can see what's coming in behind you. Anyway, so we're on lap 7 now, and we're super close, so just 10th or so behind, and I get a really good run up the inside here. Still Knox coming really slowly out on the wide, and I managed to make a pass into first place for the first time in the race. So now coming on to the lap 8, and I'm in first place. However, still Knox is in the slipstream, and as I said, these Scirocco's have excellent straight line speed, and what I should have done really is held that inside line. That was sort of my plan, but I just didn't quite execute that well enough. I didn't take the inside line quick enough, and as he recovers from a very wide first turn there, I have to really brake hard to avoid coming into the side of him and wrecking us both, which in turn gives me a bit of a nudge from behind from Porto. However, again, no real losses. And then coming into this left-hand turn, Porto comes right down the inside, and I was a little bit upset about that. I was already making my turn into the corner when he pushed down the inside, and he wasn't able to make that cleanly. He gave me a bump out wide, so I was kind of a little bit frustrated. It seemed a little bit of an aggressive move, but coming into lap 8, I suppose he's kind of getting desperate, you know, trying to get into that lead, and you can see him going down the inside, trying to dive and take that position. So I was just kind of really cautious about that now, and again, a little bump there, and these two guys have been kind of going at it for the whole race, so being really cautious. And then out of nowhere, he just disappears. So I guess he disconnected. To be honest, I'm not really sure. I imagine that can be the only reason. Seemingly internet cut out or something. So a little bit upsetting that we lost one of our competitors. So now coming up towards the 9th lap, the penultimate lap, we've still got Skill Knox in first place. I think I've been getting his name wrong all the way through this, but Skill Knox anyway, in first place. I'm in second place, and we've got Xenomorph in third, and actually not too far behind now, a guy from Portugal, Pedro, who actually started way down in 7th or 8th place, is coming up into 4th place here. So lap 9 out of 10 now. This is starting to really heat up, and again, I'm trying to drive carefully. I don't want to mess up at this point in time. You know, after a 10 lap race, you really don't want to mess up in the last couple of laps, so you've got to keep it focused. But again, wanted to win this really badly, so it's kind of pushing, avoiding the slipstream here. What you'll find is if you go in the slipstream, A, you're coming in faster than the kind of speed that you've practiced coming in at, and B, it means that obviously you have a bit less resistance on your downforce, which means that braking and cornering becomes a little trickier. So sometimes a nice little strategy to use there, just instead of following right in behind, just come out to the side on the straights. Xenomorph pressuring a little bit, and I had an opportunity just about on the left, coming down on the inside when he went quite wide, but again, it's so hard to hold that inside line on that second left-hand turn after the straight, just because it's a little bit, the car's a bit twitchy there, so it's really hard to push down the inside, I find, on that corner. Anyway, sticking on close to him, currently about 0.3, 0.4 seconds behind, but close enough that if there's an opportunity, I can take it. And Xenomorph, actually, if you notice there, just drops way back into 4th, so he lost a bit of control coming out of one of the corners and ended up coming back into 4th place. So Pedro takes 3rd place and Xenomorph into 4th place. Myself and Still Knox literally head to toe, or toe to toe, what did I say? Toe to toe, I suppose, coming down the back straight for the last time now. About to start the final lap, lap 10. So here we go, final lap, running kind of 143s, and he brakes super early. I get a great run down the inside here, brake a little bit later than him and managed to hold that. Just about maintain that. You can actually hear my wheel working there as I'm just struggling to keep the car under control, trying to get as much speed out of the corner as possible without losing any grip, but I managed to take that inside line, and I was really happy with that. For some reason he must have just lost his nerve a bit, but then coming down the inside he outbrakes me a little bit, takes that inside line, and actually that was a pretty good move. That pushed me out wide. I mean, that was more bad driving from my part than anything. He took that inside line well. I braked a little bit early. I pretty much did the same thing that he did on the first turn. Broke a bit too early. He took the opportunity down the inside line, thinking, no, damn it, I've lost my chance. And then coming up to this tight right hand corner, and you see he just loses it, and I'm not sure what happened there. It almost looks like he tried to pop the handbrake for a little bit of extra turn in, but it just went wrong, and he lost his grip and he got the back end out, and I managed to take him down the inside, and really good acceleration out of that corner, which gave me a little bit of clearance. So now it's him in second place, Skill Knox, and Pedro in third place. Xenomorph still a bit further back in 4th place. Coming down for the final left-hander. Don't think they're going to be able to catch me at this point now. Just a little bit of oversteer on the exit of that turn, which I managed to hold in nicely, and at this point I'm fairly happy that I got the win. So accelerate on out. Skill Knox coming in 2nd place, Pedro in 3rd place, Xenomorph in 4th, and very happy to have got the win there. Very tight final lap, but secured the victory. Ooh. And as it happened, and you'll see here, Pedro was holding a 5-second penalty, so he actually goes way back down into 4th place, and Xenomorph takes 3rd, Pedro takes 2nd place. So very happy with that, race, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. As I said, for the next video, I'm planning on adding the other cameras, mix them into the replay sort of thing, so you guys will be able to see that. But in the meantime, do let me know if you enjoyed this video. I thought it was a fantastic little race, and you get this really cool scene here of the winning car coming onto this like PlayStation carpet thing, and you know, all the celebrations and all that. So anyway, points for Team Jaguar. Let me know anyone else who's signed up for Team Jaguar, and we'll have to club together to reign victorious. Yeah, very happy to have won that first race. And I tell you what else was good. I ranked up to sportsmanship rating S. So, and I'm very, very close to driver ranking B now. So, really happy about that. You can see I got up to level 23, and you can see there on the right hand side now sportsmanship rating S and driver ranking C. But I'm just on the border of becoming driver ranking B. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.